on the court for both teams. Flau'jae Johnson for LSU, Clara Strack for Kentucky.
Well, Flau'jae Johnson leads the team in scoring. She leads them in three-point percentage. Maybe more importantly than anything else, heading into SEC play, she's well rested. She did not play a lot of minutes in the last couple weeks, didn't need to, so she's ready to go for conference play. You mentioned Clara Strack. What can we not say about Clara Strack? Statistically, she is all over the map in the SEC with her presence. You know, she used to be a star at Virginia Tech, transfers over to Kentucky, the Lisa Leslie preseason list, the Naismith Player of the Year list. She has 17 points a game, 43 blocks on the season. She gets it done inside and outside again. One of the many storylines we're looking forward to tonight.
So we are set to rock and roll here on the first day of January. Kentucky in blue, LSU in white. SEC basketball for the first time in the new season. LSU grabs the first possession. Strack contends on the first shot attempt, gets a piece of it, put back up, and Koval comes back with a big offensive rebound and the stick back.
Well, nice job by Joyner to attack the defense. Look, you're going to get shots blocked tonight. That just happens. That's the way Kentucky plays. Great job by Joyner to attack. Better sign for LSU to see Koval with the putback.
And you see that starting lineup, Morgan, Obi, Key, Hassett, and Strack for Kentucky. Kentucky has only had a couple of different starting lineups this year. This group, the group starting tonight, has an 11-1 record. The only loss by Kentucky this year was a narrow defeat at the hands of Maryland.
While we're looking at that starting lineup, just 25 seconds into the ballgame, Flau'jae Johnson picks up her first on Kentucky's first possession down the floor.
Strack misses left with the first free throw.
Usually a very good free throw shooter. 76% on the season for Clara Strack.
She can also shoot the triple. She'll back out. She's hit 9 trays. She misses, but a deep rebound. Kentucky gets another chance. Hassett shoots. She's the designated three-point shooter. Off the mark, and the rebound to Michaela Williams. Williams at the top. She'll take the three. Got it!
That could be huge for LSU to get off to a good start because Kentucky wants you to go to the basket and try to block your shots. More often than not, you don't see teams trying to block three-pointers. Michaela Williams gets hot. She can stretch that defense out.
5-0 Tigers, but it's quickly reversed. Let's take a look at the LSU starting lineup. LSU has had 5 different starting lineups this year. Tonight's group has started the last couple of games. Obviously has won them both. Johnson, Williams, Richard, Joyner, and Koval. Victor, I think, and you've mentioned it to an extent, can Koval stay out of foul trouble? This is a very tall, physical Kentucky team. It's the tallest Kentucky basketball team in its history on the women's side. And another three ball ripped home by Michaela Williams.
Well, already you can see Michaela Williams is feeling it with that range. That time the shot clock was down to 1 with a defender in her face, and she still put it in pure.
What did you tell me 10 minutes ago? Michaela Williams has the potential to really go off offensively against Kentucky.
Yeah, we were talking about it right before we came on the air. And why do we think that? Because they're 6'5", 6'5", 6'5" on the inside. As you see a look at head coach Kenny Brooks. How about 24th season as a Division I head coach? You know how many losing seasons he's had? One.
Yeah.
Done an outstanding job in Lexington. But back to Michaela Williams. For a team that wants to invite you inside and then block your shots, you don't often see teams face guard you from the three-point line. So Michaela Williams, if she gets hot, you're either going to leave her out there and she's going to have a career night, or she's going to draw the defense out. That's when you drive past her.
Let's take a timeout right here with 8:17 remaining in the first quarter. And we'll step aside and be right back. LSU with a 6-point lead early. Right now, Michaela Williams has 2 triples in the early going, giving her 22 made trays on the season, but one of those is being contested as they're reviewing to see if it were a 3-ball or a deuce.
Well, and you saw on the replay right there on her first one, she walked into the top of the key without a defender. The second one from the left wing certainly had a defender in her face as the shot clock got down to 1. But when we went to timeout because they were appealing the out-of-bounds call with Kentucky ball. That appeal was upheld. It'll stay Kentucky ball. Then they announced that we're going to go back and look at the three-pointer, the second one, to see whether or not she had a foot on the line, and that's what the officials are looking at right now.
If they rule it a 3, she would have 22 made in 49 attempts. That's well over 40%. Flau'jae Johnson has 24 to lead the club.
I mean, if that's what they're looking at, she's clearly behind the line. That angle tells it that there's very little time to have to look at this one. She's a good half foot behind the line. Here comes the official announcement.
After review, the three-point shot taken at 8:32 was confirmed a 3, and the out-of-bounds appeal has been confirmed, and the call on the floor will be overturned to white ball.
Oh, so they just overturned it.
And a good job of officiating to take care of all the angles, all the points that were being contested. The 3-ball stands up, and LSU will have possession.
Yeah, they saw something else that changed it, because while we were in the timeout, the official came on the microphone and made the announcement to everyone that it was staying blue ball, and then they would look at the three-pointer. So they went and took a look at it.
Amaya Joyner, Flau'jae Johnson, Michaela Williams, Kate Cobal, and Jada Richard on the floor right now for LSU. And the Tigers get an inside bucket from Joyner, the 6'2 senior from Farmville, North Carolina, by way of East Carolina. LSU off to a hot start, leading early by 8.
Beautiful pass by Michaela Williams, too. Now they're going to try to face guard her, and she drops down the little bounce pass.
This 3-ball up and off the mark, a little bit strong from Obi. And it's going to go back to LSU after defense.
Got her on a travel. LSU has to get in position to be good rebounders in this ball game with the amount of players that they have that are 6'4", 6'5" on the floor. LSU has not seen a lineup this season that has that kind of size, so they're going to have to be aggressive on the boards.
The only team in the Southeastern Conference that's larger than Kentucky is South Carolina, and Williams adds another bucket. Williams has been scorching hot early. 12-2 Tigers. LSU double teams. Shot clock at 7. And Strack was tripped up as she tried to dribble into the key. Kim Mulkey, as good as anybody has ever been in men's or women's basketball, 26 seasons as a Division I head coach, 767 victories. Yes, that's a correct number. 9 times the National Coach of the Year. And championships at Baylor and LSU.
LSU was hoping on that last foul. They were called on Jada Richard for reaching in, but instead they got Cobal with the foul. That's her first. Just keep an eye on that, being LSU's starter on the inside.
Strack misses the 3-ball over Cobal. Tigers on the run. That left side 3 by Michaela Williams comes up a little bit short. Her first miss.
She was set to take the roof off this joint. That heat check shot.
LSU by 10 early. 6:34 to go in the first quarter. An open 3 launched from the left side. Too long by Jordan Obi. Obi gets it back, takes it inside. Cobal defending. And Strack cannot make the play as she was on the back of one of the Tigers. No foul called, but possession belongs to LSU.
But that was great position. To your point about being on the back, watch the miss. Look at the position she is. Cobal certainly has the height advantage over Michaela Williams, but look at the body position. Cobal goes over the top, no foul call, but off her hand out of bounds.
The best 3-point shooter for Kentucky is Asia Boone. LSU will go to the free throw line. Talking about Boone, she comes in right now. She's got 37 trays this season and shoots 37%. So she is the best out-court shooter for the Wildcats. Here's Williams, a superb free throw shooter. You've seen her connect on just about everything from the free throw line during the course of her career. Right at 80%. Little better than that for her career numbers as she strokes 2.
Nothing like double digits 4 minutes into a game. That tells you the kind of start Michaela Williams is having.
Ten points for Williams on a couple of threes, a deuce, and a couple of free throws. And a foul against Kentucky. Who did they get?
Amelia Hassett on the top. She tried to hand it off for the guard. She wanted to go set a screen, letting her teammate go left side of the wing, but she never established position. Take a look by the top of the key. She's going to keep moving, but watch, she never stops.
Right.
She just runs right into her to keep going. You've got to be set if you're setting that screen. Richard hit her, goes the other way.
She has made every start this year for Kentucky, and that's her second foul.
She averages 10.5 points a game and 6 rebounds a game.
Well, what's interesting is Kentucky has 5 players who average in double figures. The Tigers have 7. LSU scoring well over 100 points a game this year. And Victor, that rolls off the tongue rather easily, but so difficult, so many points. That inbounds play in traffic goes awry, and LSU will have to peel back defensively. Boone is open. The lefty takes it and nestles it home. That is triple number 38 for her this year. 14-5, LSU by 9 early. Richard's going to take a deep 3. Got it! It rattled and went.
Jada Richard has that ability to shoot from the outside. She was an outstanding scorer in her high school days over in Opelousas. She's one of those that can quietly start to fill up the scoring sheet and the stat sheet with points. That
was her 9th triple of the season. And Strack comes right back with a baseline jumper and rattles it home. The lead is 10.
Made that look too easy. A little one-stepper, almost like a Dirk Nowitzki, little one-legger fadeaway on the baseline. And now it's a turnover. Michaela Williams steps out of bounds.
Look at all the players in double figures for LSU this year. That's so rare. So rare.
That is healthy, and so many of those names that contribute coming off the bench as well. And we haven't even seen bench players start getting into the game yet. We're getting ready to.
A deep rebound winds up in the hands of Michaela Williams. Here's Richard.
Dynamic of the game might change even more with Elijah Full-Wiley about to check in.
Full-Wiley, certainly one of the most valuable players in the entire league. After starting her career at South Carolina, a couple of terrific seasons off the bench there, and the same thing in progress for LSU now. There's another 3 by guess who? Asia Boone.
Nope.
She's got that quick release. She's that lefty. Flau'jae Johnson missed it badly. She has not yet been into the offensive flow. Cobal hustling back, tips that play away. Cobal breathing very hard right now, trying to catch her breath, and here's Full-Wiley. At South Carolina, she averaged 11.7 off the bench, better than that at LSU.
But look at the defense, 4 steals per game. She's coming off a game where she had phenomenal. 8 steals.
It's phenomenal.
She's the ultimate thief in the SEC when it comes to bothering other teams' offense. And then also checking into the game is Grace Knox, who's one of the hardest fighters we've seen so far this season in terms of her aggressiveness and not backing down to anybody on the inside.
Knox has a terrific future here, the youngster making her mark off the bench for LSU, and a nice fadeaway shot off the 1 foot by Tiani Key from Cary, North Carolina. She started her career at North Carolina.
Defensively, LSU is going to have to try to get them away from the lane as Full-Wiley drive to the basket, because that's back-to-back buckets now by 6'5" players who have turned from 8 to 10 feet on a little bit of a fadeaway on a one-legger falling back. You've got to back them out.
Kentucky has scored 7 straight points. The lead is 5 for LSU. The Tigers led by 12 before the Kentucky run. 3 minutes to go, opening period. And that's too easy. Tony Morgan was able to get by an out-court defender and then score from point-blank range.
I think that was Michaela Williams who let it go straight by with no contest.
Cobal muscling up, slings it against the board, no good. 9 straight points for Kentucky. They can tie with a 3 here. Instead, they get a layup. That was Jordan Obie running the court. And Kentucky has scored 11 consecutive points to cut the gap to 1.
And after a huge run by LSU early, I think it was 12-2 run, LSU has now missed its last 4 field goals and has a scoring drought of 3 minutes.
Richard snaps it in the corner. 3 ball up, 3 ball just off the mark by Williams. Kentucky can take a lead right here. A lot of contact, but no whistle. Asia Boone missed on the drive. Williams did not realized there was a player behind her, and that's stolen by Asia Boone. The crowd did. It was yelling, look out, but to no avail.
Nobody talking to her. LSU has not trailed in a ball game in its last 3 games, and in 7 of their last 9, LSU has yet to trail in a game. That one was on Jada Richard, her first with the body bump as Flaugier comes back in the game. In fact, it's the law firm of Johnson & Johnson. Takaya Johnson making her entry into the game.
Williams and Koval go to the bench for their first rest.
You know this game means something for Johnson, too. Takaya Johnson, that is. Played her high school ball in Kentucky.
Strack backs out, hits a deep deuce, and Kentucky has the lead, 18-17.
First deficit in 4 games now, including this one for LSU. Look at that.
LSU has trailed for only less than 17 and a half minutes this year. Kentucky has scored 13 consecutive points. And free throws will be coming for the Tigers after the drive by Jada Richard, the sophomore from Opelousas. Louisiana Sports Writers Association Miss Basketball and a Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year.
LSU's going to have that mentality all night long. They are going to go elevated. They are going to try block shots. You can draw fouls if you're aggressive like LSU. It's a nice job by Richard knowing the contact was coming.
Jada is an 80% free throw shooter. The Tigers at 71.7 as a team. And the 2 free throws give LSU the lead by 1. Kentucky right now beating LSU back down court on a couple of occasions. Obi running the floor.
Great cross-court pass to break that full-court press.
Wiley is left alone on the left side and hits the mid-range jump shot. She is so versatile. The parts of her game are extensive, both offensively. She can run the point, and her defense is beyond comparison. That's blocked by Johnson. LSU's Zakaya Johnson helping out Wiley. They're going to call a foul, though.
Zakaya picked that one up. That's her first. You're just talking about Richard being the Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. Zakaya Johnson was the 4-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kentucky and a 4-time champ. I was trying to read up a little bit on that with the time. You know, Kentucky made the coaching change with Kenny Brooks, who you see right there, coming over to Kentucky, trying to recruit, but he got there and was a little too late trying to get on the Zakaya Johnson train. LSU was already on her and took Kentucky's top player for the last 4 years and brought her to Baton Rouge.
How rare is that, to be a 4-time Player of the Year?
And I hear they take their basketball in Kentucky rather seriously.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Flaugier Johnson has yet to become a factor offensively. She's got the basketball. Uses the pick by Johnson. Flaugier fakes right, dribbles left, launches it. It rims out. Knox was knocked down trying to lean in for that rebound. She's all right, but holding the back of her head.
Flaugier's going to need one of those buckets to get her started. One of her trademark drive to the basket shots. She missed a 3-pointer badly, and then that time an off-balance jumper.
10 seconds remain in the first quarter. And a reach-in foul well away from the bucket by Wiley. Wiley's got that ability to steal it at that point, but that's a foul she would like to have back.
Well, and Kenny Brooks was even screaming from the Kentucky bench. They liked this. They were trying to go back and forth to try to force a foul from Wiley. That's why she went back and forth 2 or 3 times across the floor while she was letting the clock run out, and then finally they got it to commit.
So with 7 seconds to go in the quarter, the first free throw is good by Toni Morgan, who on the season has converted 82.5%. Johnson pulls off the rebound. LSU has 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Richard, yes! Jada Richard brings this crowd to its feet with a leaner just ahead of the end of the first quarter. Jada Richard gives LSU a huge momentum bucket at the end of the first period. 23-22 Tigers as Richard converts on the last shot of the quarter.
Under review. The call on the floor is successful basket.
Of reversed fortunes for both of the teams. Kentucky started 3 for 10 and then went on a long, productive run and scored on 6 of its last 7 baskets. LSU has done the opposite.
Yeah, and remember, we had an early timeout because of the appeal on the out-of-bounds play. That was the timeout for the first quarter. So they went very long, basically 7.5 minutes without a break for the rest of that first quarter when LSU started red hot at 6 and 8. But they didn't respond as well coming off of that break as Kentucky did, just finishing 2 and 8 down through the rest of the quarter.
Boy, you look around at the Maravich Center tonight, there may be a few empty seats, but they are very rare. This place is rocking and rolling. It's a New Year's night celebration here in the Maravich Center. And Victor, for one, I'm glad recess is over. All the preseason games are done, and it's now SEC action. Everybody in action tonight. We've had some finals from this afternoon. We'll get to those scores in a little bit. LSU led by 12 at one time before Kentucky went on a 13-0 run. Couple of ties and 6 lead changes in the first period alone. With Victor Howell, I'm Lynn Rollins. Kentucky with Strack backing out. She's got the sweet jump shot. She's 6'5", but she can back out and hit that shot. And you know what? She was a guard in high school. She grew about a foot in her senior year of high school.
Has that ability to handle. You know what story comes out reminds me of that one on the men's side? Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes.
Smaller guy. He had a huge growth spurt. Has the ability to handle the rock, but has the size. Same thing with Strack. We've seen her take that Dirk Nowitzki type off the one leg fadeaway on the baseline. 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting. That's going up. You got to put a hand in her face. Oh, after such a hot start for Michaela Williams now. She's missed her last few.
Morgan gives it off to Blue. Back to Morgan.
Michaela Williams has missed her last 3.
That fadeaway by Strack a little bit flat. LSU down by 1. Williams, Joyner, spinning, reversing. Has to get out of the lane and does so. This is Flau'jae Johnson. Fadeaway jump shot. No, she is ice cold right now.
Well, that's good defense too by Kentucky. That's other than the 3-pointer she took, her other 2 field goals, she has been contested. Kentucky's done a nice job getting into Flau'jae's face.
Flau'jae has attempted 3 shots and missed them all. Shot clock down to 8. And a foul on Cobal, I believe. It is Cobal. That's her second. And Cobal will be replaced by Knox.
That time she was trying to reach and block the shot, but again, with Kentucky's ability, to your point of Strack and her growth spurt, to be able to handle the ball and move with that size. She's 6'5", pulling away. Koval's 6'5", but she got caught behind her trying to reach to get her.
Look at the free throw per game marks by LSU especially.
Kentucky making just under 12 a game. On the season, LSU, as you can see, making just over 20. Their opponents are making 10. So basically, LSU comes in starting a game up 10 if they go to the free throw line on average.
By the way, that free throws converted per game for LSU is number 2 in the country. There's a bucket that might get Flau'jae Johnson going. 1 for 4 now from the field. And a good job of snaking her way to use the backboard.
That's what I was saying earlier. She needed one of those drive to the basket hoops to go in and give her some confidence.
And a nice little bump and back up by Tiani Key as she scored over Knox and did a good job of creating some space. That's off Knox's hands. That pass from the left side A little bit too hot to handle.
You mentioned Key, who just made that last bucket for Kentucky. She didn't play in the last 2 games for the Wildcats, but she's a preseason second-team All-SEC selection, and she's averaging 11 points a game, one of those many Wildcats in double digits.
And she also can block a shot, or 2, or 8, or 10. She had 10 blocks in one game last year against Arizona State. Well, there's a 3 by Kentucky.
LSU's got to figure out who wants to guard Asia Boone. That's her 3rd.
Asia Boone now with 40 3-point shots made. And you know what? Hassett, who has not been a factor offensively, has 35 triples made. Tigers come right back. That's Williams, who adds to her point total.
Well, as much as you have to worry about Kentucky's size on offense, they do come into this ballgame. Even though they're shooting 32% from three-point land, they come in making an average just over 9 a contest.
That's an open look from 18 feet. And Strack battling for the rebound. I think they may have called a foul on Strack. They did. She doesn't believe it. That's her first. Wiley will come back into the game for LSU. Let's look at Strack again.
Yeah, watch 2 white jerseys on the inside of her. Strack trying to reach over there. She might have been able to get to the ball, but when her hand comes down going for it, it comes down over the shoulder. That's going to be an automatic call.
That was on the shoulder of Joyner. Wiley has the ball stripped out of her hands, but they call a foul. That was going to be a give and go to Wiley.
That's number 2 now.
On Strack. Kentucky came from a double-digit deficit and now leads by 3. 6:43 to go in the second quarter. And Kaylin K.K. Carroll, a 6'3" freshman from Dedham, Massachusetts, checks into the game, replacing Strack. She wears number 20 in blue. Williams misses the shot, goes down hard, but gets up and is holding her elbow, her left elbow.
Call that foul on Joyner, trying to battle for the rebound. Even though I think the ball came off of a Wildcat, it bounced outside of Wiley. They called the foul on Joyner on the inside. That's her first.
Kentucky by 3 in Baton Rouge tonight.
See, this is something that we haven't seen all season long for LSU, but one game, and that was on the road when LSU got challenged. Nice defense challenging that layup there.
But the ball bounces back to Kentucky. And then taken away by Flauget. That brings the crowd to its feet. LSU down by 1.
To finish the thought, LSU has not been challenged like this minus 1 game when they were on the road at Duke. The only time we've seen them down with a deficit, and they were down double digits in that ball game. I will say Louisiana Tech challenged them for the first half in New Orleans on a neutral site, but Duke had really jumped out on LSU, so we have not really seen them face a lot of adversity like they faced here in the latter part of the first quarter and early here in the second.
Kentucky in blue, leading by 1. Shot clock at 3. A late pass down low. This will count if it goes. It does not. Offensive rebound pulled off by Kentucky. Boone is open. The lefty lets it fly. On line but long. Another offensive rebound. Put back. Bouncing. It's good. But there was a whistle.
They're going to call that on Key. They're going to call that offensive.
So Key commits the foul.
Take a look off the big bounce, off the missed 3.
Watch number 7 in blue.
Goes right over Joyner on the inside. And look, when you've got 2-3 players with a 6'5", chances are when you see them battling for a rebound like that, Lynn, they might touch the ball first. But if you have body position, you got a white jersey on the inside of them, you get the call over the back.
A reverse layup is good. It goes down for Amaya Joyner. The AAC Freshman of the Year at East Carolina. LSU on a 6-0 run to regain the lead, 31-30. Carroll from distance, on line but long. Rebound ripped down by Joyner. Here's Williams, fakes right, dribbles left, gives it up to Flauget Johnson. Scoops it, scores, and a whistle.
Slow start for Flauget in the first quarter. She has found her groove. here in the second quarter, attacking the basket, the big breakaway. And after LSU being down, it's an 8-0 run for the Lady Tigers over the last 2:20. Going into the timeout, Florida has the Lady Tigers up 33-30.
And trailed and now leads again, courtesy of this lately.
Well, we talked about facing adversity, something they have not faced at home all season long. But after Kentucky made a nice run to get out to a lead, LSU has now answered lately. 8-0 run over the last 2:20. LSU has made its last 3 field goals, while Kentucky now has hit a bit of a mini drought, 0 for 5, and their scoring drought is almost 3 minutes.
And LSU actually has hit 5 of its last 6, and it needed it. Kim Mulkey holding court as we get set to return to play. 4:57 remaining in the second quarter.
Remember, one of the statistics we told you and showed you at the top of the broadcast, offense versus defense, with LSU leading the nation in scoring. But what Kentucky has done, Kentucky has not allowed an opponent to shoot more than 40% so far through the first quarter and a half. LSU 54% from the floor, 43% from the three-point line.
There are 4 finals available to us in the SEC. South Carolina defeated Alabama easily, 83-57. Tennessee was a 76-65 winner over Florida. Vanderbilt ranked 12th, 88, Arkansas 71, and Ole Miss defeated Georgia by 17, 79-62. Those are the finals available in the SEC. Auburn and Mississippi State are playing tonight. Texas and Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. There's the old-fashioned three-point play. And Flau'jae Johnson, after a very cold start, is getting into the flow offensively. That gives her 7 points, and most of them have come in the last few minutes. This is Strack. Leaves that little half hook, I guess, well short. Not quite sure what she intended to do. She might have been caught in the middle in the thought process, but the floater came up short. Wiley driving, misses high off the window. Rebound pulled off by Key.
Kenny Brooks taking the chance to put Strack back into the ballgame. She only sat for about a minute and a half. Remember, she's their leading scorer, but she has 2 fouls.
And she can do that if you leave her alone. That gives her 9. Again, that's that little 1-foot pivot you were describing.
Dirk Nowitzki's going to Hall of Fame because of that type of shot.
Yep.
When you're 6'5" and can do that, if you're a defender, if you're not right on top of her moving, you need to be 6'8" or 6'9". Other than that, it's almost unguardable.
There's a pass down low and a reverse layup by Knox.
And Kentucky's gone to a zone defense to try to protect Strack, and good for LSU to go attack that zone and get right at her. You know she's probably going to hold off and not want to get that 3rd foul.
And Knox is so basketball savvy and strong and diligent. That's put back up. Missed, put back up again, and the bucket by Key. And a foul called. And a 3-point opportunity for Key.
Schroeder's going to get... Well, they called it on Knox, number 2. She got that. LSU's bench was screaming, grab the rebound. Watch, the white jerseys are there, but they're just kind of standing and watching. And give Key credit. She just keeps fighting for it by herself. 1 blue jersey amongst the 3 white ones, and she puts it back up and in.
Key has a sister who played for Tennessee, and her mother was a volleyball player for Coastal Carolina. Victor, I'm told that Key is quite the cook. And she did a YouTube cooking video over the summer, and guess what she called it? The key ingredient.
Love it. Love it. Johnson was trying to yell at, I think, Knox on moving on that play.
There's a traveling violation against the Tigers. Well, let's take a closer look at the height of this Kentucky team. There are some very tall players on this team, probably taller than Adolph Rupp had a few decades ago.
They've got a lot of good size on this roster. Tallest in program history, which beat the team from last year, which was the tallest in Kentucky history until this year's class.
Average height of 6'1". They've got 2 players at 6'5", 3 players at 6'5", another one at 6'4". The tallest team in the league is South Carolina. Another offensive rebound.
That's a travel.
Yeah,
they called the jump ball.
And it's going to go to LSU.
Yeah. Either way, it was a really good play by Flau'jae Johnson. I thought they'd get her on the up and down, but they said that Flau'jae had her ball on the hand long enough to force a tie.
Watch Obi here. This is in a position where it's very difficult to score. Under the bucket. LSU might have caught a break there.
We're talking about the size.
Richard, pull-up jump shot. Fouled in the act of shooting by Tony Morgan.
Morgan's one of the 3 players that's not 6 foot. Kentucky has a 5'8", one 5'9", that's Morgan, and one at 5'10", which is Gabby Brooks. Everybody else on the roster in blue is 6 foot or taller.
Morgan committed her second foul. Her career best in scoring is 31 against Stanford and 15 rebounds against Syracuse. She has played at Florida State and Georgia Tech before this stop at Kentucky.
LSU now a perfect 7 for 7 from the line. Kentucky's been to the line more. They've got 9 attempts, but they've just made 4 of their free throws.
It's unusual for a team to get to the line more than LSU.
Yeah.
Very unusual.
For LSU this season, it's unusual to face a team with this kind of size.
Knox is guarding Strack. Forces her into a pass outside. Key leaves the 3 ball short, and it bounces deep all the way into the LSU bench.
Okay, but talk about Knox for just a second. Did you see how Strack had to work so hard just to get that ball from the post all the way to the other wing because Knox was bodying her up? We talked about it. She's not backing down from anybody.
No.
You want to go get in an alley fight? You want her with you, right?
Yes, indeed.
She is going to fight you tooth and nail, and she was posting up and bodying up and forced Strack to make that tough pass.
This is Richard. Flau'jae Johnson. Williams. That ball was...
That's number 3.
And the ball, fortunately, was deflected into the hands of Knox down low. And then Strack just committed her 3rd foul.
Watch the deflection. It actually bounces right off the Strack. Then she goes up, and she was committed. Once she went airborne, she was committed, and Knox had the good body position to draw the foul. Interestingly, this isn't the first time that Strack has been on this floor and had to leave the game in foul trouble. We told you she went to Virginia Tech. When Virginia Tech played LSU back in the ACC-SEC matchup, she was here, and she fouled out in the first half. They couldn't get her out early enough, and now she leaves it tonight with 3 fouls.
And Strack, knowing she already had 2 fouls, committed really a needless foul on that play.
Well, and Kentucky had shifted to a zone defense to try to help protect her. So now that she's going to be on the bench for the final 2 minutes, we'll see if Kentucky changes anything on the defensive end.
LSU's lead is 4 after the 1 conversion by Knox.
Kayla tried to sell that offensive charge, didn't get it, and it needs for an easy layup.
Obi scoring. Obi has made every start this year. And a foul called after the defensive rebound by K.K. Carroll, a freshman from Dedham, Massachusetts.
For a while he gets the foul called on her. That's going to be her 2nd.
Yes, it is. Carroll, by the way, a McDonald's High School All-America in Massachusetts.
Almost a highlight play. Right before we picked up the highlight, she went behind the back, missed the layup, but then you saw her reaching over the top to try to get the ball.
80 seconds remain in the 2nd quarter. This has been a ferociously contested first half. Fadeaway jumper by Key. Rebound, grabbed by Williams. Michaela on the move. Michaela gets into the lane. Gives it off to Fulwiley. She misses the trip shot. Rebound put back up by Knox, and that's too strong. LSU with a couple of opportunities, but went 0 for 2.
They love to do that. They love to run the floor. That's one of their strengths of this year's team. But that time the layup was there. It just didn't go in.
There's the lob down to Key, and she scores. And right now we've got the 4th tie of this first half at 39.
Kentucky's got a full house in terms of the scoring column. Strack, Boone, and Key, all with 9. Morgan and Obi with 6.
And Williams counters for the Tigers, which a much needed jumper from a couple of feet behind the free throw line. At halftime, we'll talk to Jay Clark about the upcoming gymnastics season and the open mic night tomorrow with all of its festivities. That's blocked and a foul called on the Tigers with less than 2 seconds to go in the half.
That's going to be the third on Fulwiley. Remember earlier in the ball game, it was Morgan dribbling around that forced the foul on the steal. This time she was just waiting for the clock to run out. There you see Fulwiley with the late attempt to block, but she comes down and hits her on the hand. And she gets her third foul with 1.6 on the clock.
Two shots coming here. Morgan this year has 9 times scored in double figures. Career best of 31. And that's point number 8 for her in the first half. 1.6 seconds to go. 5 ties and 8 lead changes to this point. 41 apiece. Here's the heave to Richard. This will count if it goes. It's off the top of the backboard, and a frenetic, exciting back and forth first half is over. Kentucky on the road has tied LSU at the break. 41-41. Jay Clark comes your way when we come back. They're in the books, and LSU finds itself in a place it has not been at halftime this year, and that's 41 apiece against once defeated Kentucky. The Tigers, of course, come in with an unblemished record so far. With Victor Howell, I'm Len Rollins. This has been the type of first half that we thought it might be.
Yeah, two very good teams colliding. Defensively, LSU has been able to penetrate that Kentucky defense for a while, but then LSU hit the skids, right? The offense went cold. Kentucky got hot. Then they got midway through the second. To your point about those stats we were looking at, LSU flipped it again. Very even, and rightfully so. It's what we've been waiting to see. Michaela Williams was a star early in this ballgame for LSU. She came out red hot. Drains a three-pointer from the top of the key. She goes wing in front of the Kentucky bench. It's another one. She hit her first 3 shots, but then she missed her next 3 shots. Got to the free throw line a couple of times. She finished the first half with 14 points. She's the only player from either team in double digits. Clara Strack, we talked about her at the top of the broadcast. I mean, how tough is that to defend? Just the one off the one leg fade away. She has that range. Lynn talked about the fact of her ball handling ability. There it is again. The little turn and fade away. The problem for Strack, 3 fouls. She picked up a cheap one late, and we'll have to watch that and see how much LSU tries to attack her when she's on the floor.
Well, you see the percentages. LSU still shooting 48%. Kentucky at 44. Tigers have been good at the free throw line as they usually are, 8 of 9. Kentucky actually has been there more than LSU. That's unusual against the Tigers this year. But again, the storyline that Victor just mentioned, and this could be critical. Strack, the defensive player of the year in the SEC last year and a very capable scorer and passer, is thwarted right now with 3 fouls. Fulwiley has a couple of 3 fouls as well and only 2 points. So we're in for a heck of a next 20 minutes.
And I want to see how LSU's bench contributes as well as what they do. Because again, if you look at Kentucky's scoring, their scoring is a full house. 3 with 9, Key, Boone, and Strack. 2 with 6. Obi's got 6. Morgan hit 1 more bucket, so she has 8. So there goes the full house there. But still, those are the only players. LSU has had some contributions off the bench. Jada Richard having a very good night as well with 9 points on her 2 of 4 shooting, but she's 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Remember, Fulwiley also came in off the bench. She's 1 for 5, missed 2 layups in the first half, and then picked up that really, really tough third foul right at the very end of the half.
By the way, if you're wondering about Strack and fouls this year in the previous 14 games, she's committed 33 personal fouls. She has not been disqualified by fouls in any of the first 14 games.
She will start this second half on the bench, sitting there right next to Kenny Brook.
Kentucky in blue, LSU in white. Third quarter just underway. Hassett, who's been held in check, dumps it down low to Obi, and Obi collides, and there's an offensive foul once again. It's Grace Knox doing whatever it takes to turn the tables on Kentucky.
Well, she starts to slide it. You see that elbow clear out there by Obi. Obi had a chance to possibly get past her right here if she keeps going, but she stops and decides to try to go right through Grace Knox. And Knox, that doesn't bother her one bit. You saw her smiling and laughing when she hit the floor, knowing she did her job.
That's the third foul on Obi. Johnson dribbles to the right side, pulls up and fires. Got it. A good start for her after a very slow beginning in the first quarter, but a good start here in the third quarter, and her second quarter was much more productive.
Unless you would like to see Flau'jae Johnson start this half the same way Michaela Williams started the ball game.
Flau'jae with 9 now. There's a spinning shot that hits the side of the backboard, missed by Morgan. Obi gets it back and misses from point-blank range. Richard weaves her way back into front court. Johnson sets up, goes baseline, hooks it up. Got it! Got it! The versatility of Flau'jae Johnson in launching shots has brought this crowd to its feet.
She now has 11, the second player in the ball game, and second Lady Tiger in double digits.
That's a beautiful feed from Boone down to Key for the lay-in.
That's just coming off the screen and diving to the basket. You both can't commit to the ball. The diver goes uncontested to the bucket. It's an easy pass and an assist.
Koval will come back in for LSU at the next whistle. And it's right now. Koval re-entering the game for the Tigers. Let's go back and look at Flau'jae Johnson create this shot.
Up and under, little hesitation dribble, one-on-one against Obi, and nobody on the help defense side for the Blue. Allows her to get up and under with that nice touch.
11 points for Flau'jae Johnson as they update the numbers. .8:14 to play, third quarter. LSU by a bucket. Back and forth we've gone. It's been a teeter-totter ball game.
Second foul on Boone, kind of a cheap foul considering Jada Richard and Michaela Williams were only about 3 feet apart. She tried to bounce pass it.
Johnson gets near the rim, scoops it up, but misses high off the window. Boone.
Got to get a hand on her.
She'll take the shot. She misses. Knox wades in for the rebound.
Boone has all 3 of her made field goals are 3-pointers as Flau'jae gets to the bucket again. It's been the Flau'jae Johnson show here in the second half.
She is smooth with about 7 O's. That's scooped up and in on the run. Wow. Morgan with an up and under twisting shot.
Morgan heard you describing a reverse layup and asked you to hold her power drink.
Yep.
I'll do the same thing.
Koval from the wing. A little bit short. Koval fighting for it. She ties it up. It's going to stay with Kentucky.
No, but LSU.
Excuse me, with LSU. 47-45, LSU leading by 2 with 7:22 remaining in the third quarter.
Koval's another one of those players that can have an impact here in the second half. Just 2 points for Koval and 1 rebound.
That line drive jumper is good by Michaela Williams. Williams and Flau'jae Johnson have that ability to create a lot of shots that most players cannot.
And that's the thing. From all areas of the floor, it could be 10 feet away, it could be 3 feet behind the three-point line. You just have to eliminate them from the offense or else they can create on you.
Williams is knocked down by a legal pick, and the lay-in is good. That was a vicious but legal pick by Key.
That's where a teammate has to give you a heads up and say something and then help side defense. They knock you to the floor.
Koval spinning, left hand, no. Rebound picked up by Obi. You know, Obi in high school was a shot putter, and she also threw the discus. She can throw an elbow pretty well, too. Let's see against whom the foul is called. It's going to be Koval on the block.
Koval was trying to hold position to draw a charge on the baseline. Instead, she gets her third foul. She and Fulweiler are the only 2 in foul trouble. You see how she slides over, but she's still moving as Morgan comes to the baseline and drops the pass off. So it's before the shot. Koval goes right back to the bench with Knox.
Amaya Joyner and Zakiya Johnson who wear number 1 and 11 respectively, have checked into the game for LSU. That's muscled up but missed by Key. Kentucky comes back with it. Strack was able to run it down, and the 3 ball is good. Morgan, who had 8 trays coming into the game, gets one here to give Kentucky a 1-point lead.
Lady Tigers are trying to get position, but it's one thing to have position. It's another thing to go get the ball. Kim Mulkey screaming at her team, you got to be more aggressive. Get your hands on that thing.
Richard is open. Richard responds with a 3-point rattler from the left side. Oh, we go back and forth, 52-50 LSU. 5.5 to play, third quarter.
LSU just about at its season average with made 3-pointers on this game.
That pass is knocked loose, but right back into the hands of Kentucky. Hassett, no, left it short. Strong rebound, ripped off by Johnson.
That's what Mulkey was looking for. If you've got position is one thing, go grab the ball.
Richard lobs it down, tipped away, recovered by LSU's Joyner. She scoops it up and scores. Joyner on the running baby hook.
And look who she went after, too. Clara Strack, 3 fouls. She doesn't want to get her 4th this early, so she kept her hands up, but she didn't challenge the shot.
LSU with 5 straight points, 54-50. Tigers regain the lead after a 3 ball and the deuce. Let's take a timeout right here. LSU on this bucket makes it 54-50. You back to the Maravich Center. January 1, first day of SEC women's basketball. Tigers and Kentucky in a tight one. LSU leading 54-50. And back and forth we go. LSU's biggest lead was in the first quarter. It was a dozen. But Kentucky mounted a long run, retook the lead. And since then, neither team has been able to gain any substantial separation.
Good start for the Lady Tigers here in the third quarter in the first 6.5 minutes. 6 of 9 from the floor. That's 66.7% shooting. Kentucky shooting 44% from the floor. Both teams very even in the paint, too. When you consider the size advantage that Kentucky has, LSU's holding right there. Kentucky has 22 paint points and LSU 20.
Tony Morgan will try to throw it in, and she gets it cleanly to Key. Morgan goes back to get it. Shot clock at 7. Shot clock at 4. LSU tips it away and steals it. This is Richard. Boone is trailing. Richard puts it up. Can't get it to go. Boone with a rebound. Asia Boone wants to be a pilot. She's already had 40 flight hours, including emergency landings. Both of her parents are Navy veterans. Richard stopped the dribble. Finds Williams, who will survey the situation. Fulwiley will come in at the next whistle for LSU. Oh, nice pass down into the lane for the lay-in. Beautifully done.
Look, you don't think with the point guard as your head coach, she doesn't realize that there's a big-time player on the court that has 3 fouls. LSU's been attacking now. 2 of the last 3 offensive possessions, they've gone right at Strack, and it's been Joyner doing it, and she's yet to try to challenge, but she doesn't want to get number 4.
Amaya Joyner with the last lay-in after some excellent ball movement by the Tigers. The lead is 6, the biggest it's been for a while. Shot clock at 6. Key muscles her way in. Lays it up. No good. Deep rebound. Williams on the run. She'll take the 3 from straight away. She's got it in this place. It's going nuts. A 3 ball. This crowd is being whipped into a frenzy. LSU 59, Kentucky 50. More in a moment. LSU leading by 9.
Williams can create her shot. Keep your eye on Asia Boone, number 8. Look how she keeps backing up, and she allows Michaela to step in right to the top of the key, uncontested. If you're going to stop Michaela Williams, you need to stop at the top of the key and get a hand in her face. You can't just keep backing up, Lynn, and you would think Asia Boone might know about that because she's hit 3 3-pointers the same way. You got to get a hand in her face. That time on the break, she kept backing up closer to the free throw line, and Michaela stepped right into her sweet spot at the top of the key. Has 19 points on 7 of 11 shooting and 3 of 5 from deep.
By the way, those 19 points ties her season's high. LSU is on a 10-0 run. It's made 4 of its last 5 shots. And right now the Tigers have their biggest lead in a while, 59-50.
By the way, while you're looking at Michaela Williams, what's gone unnoticed, she has 5 assists and 7 rebounds.
So a very fine overall performance unfolding for Michaela Williams. The junior from Bossier City. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Morgan stops at the free throw line, kicks it out, left side 3 ball, good again.
Now, you know why Asia Boone was that wide open? Because Michaela Williams came in and crunched towards the middle to stop the dribble. They kicked it out, and she was too late to get out there and put a hand in Boone's face.
Is that her third or
That's
fourth?
Her fourth.
That gives her 30, make it 41 triples on the year. Flau'jae Johnson goes right back to work, slithering inside and finding the sweet spot on the backboard. (61-53) LSU. Flau'jae has 15 after a slow start. This is Strack. She's cut off.
Flau'jae's only missed 1 shot since the second quarter, by the way.
Boone for 3 again. No. Ball tipped around. Strack kicks it left side. Another 3 ball up and in. That time, Toni Morgan. She came into the game only with 8 triples. She's got a couple of them tonight. 61-56. These Wildcats will not go away. 1:49 to go. Johnson again leaping, shooting, missing. Strack with a rebound.
And that time, too much to try to elevate over Strack, who had enough space between her and Flau'jae to distract that shot.
Wiley on the deep rebound, weaving behind the back, loses it, gets it back, retreats. Good defense, and Wiley almost lost it. In fact, she did.
Well, you knew when Wiley was on the break, her intention was going to the bucket, even with 2 defenders back there, either behind the back or through the legs. But then once she lost that initial dribble, she just had a hard time picking it up. Trying to go to the corner, lost the dribble, looks, loses it again, and then can't reach it as it goes out of bounds. It was turnover number 6 for LSU. Kentucky has 7.
So very low numbers for both teams to this point. Key left all alone for the layup. Every time LSU appears to be ready to stretch it into a double-figure lead, Kentucky comes back, trailing by 3. Joyner, yes, gets the little floater from Flau'jae Johnson.
Great ball control by Flau'jae. A nice job by Joyner. Attacking the rim once again. 13, just a little Olay defense because she doesn't want to pick up number 4.
Kentucky trying to get Morgan even more involved. She's had a double-double tonight, her 3rd double-double of the year, 18th of her career. And it's going to stay with this team in blue.
A nice layoff there. Nice 1 dribble. Now, at some point, Strack's going to have to open up her game again a little bit because she's made it through the 3rd quarter now.
Yep, good
with
point.
Just that 3 fouls. So she has to pick up a 4th. So you probably start seeing her become a little more aggressive here down the final 10 minutes and 34 seconds here in the 3rd quarter.
Toni Morgan has 16 points and 10 assists tonight.
That's her 5th game then with double-digit assists.
She tied a school record with 16 assists against USC Upstate and no turnovers in that game. How's that?
She's 2nd in the nation in assists.
Key spinning and scoring on Joyner. And LSU will take the last shot as Kentucky trails now by 3. What an SEC opener we've had between the Wildcats and the Tigers as we close out the 3rd quarter. That scoop is good. Jada Richard. Jada Richard makes it 65-60, and there's an injured Wildcat with no time remaining in the third quarter. That's Tony Morgan.
You know, that was one of those awkward layups where Jada Richard was going in with her inside hand, trying to go up and under, didn't use the outside hand and maybe coming down and didn't see it with all the bodies there. She probably caught Morgan across the schnoz. She is not feeling good right now. I just didn't see the contact at the bottom of the play at the end of the layup.
She's getting a standing 8 count and then some. Richard, by the way, has tied her career high with 14 points. And we'll take a timeout and come back with the final 10 minutes. Richard makes it 65-60, LSU after 3 quarters.
Oh, there it is. Might have caught Tony Morgan in the face, and that's because it wasn't Richard. Watch Tiani Key, number 7, right there. It's just collateral damage. And friendly fire, if you will, as Key was going to get the ball out of the net, and her elbow caught Morgan smack across the face, right underneath the left eye. And she was a bit woozy getting up, walked over with her coaches back to the bench, and while the team is in a huddle to the left of your screen as you're looking at her, she is off to the side by herself. Lynn had just mentioned this before the end of the quarter. 10 assists. It's another double-double for her. She leads the country in assists. 16 points, 10 assists on the night, but probably going to have a little bit of a shiner.
You know what? If she does not answer the bell here in the fourth quarter, it'll be the first time she has been out of the game. She has played all 30 minutes.
And with 16 and 10, you can see why. With her contribution, but she is going to start on the bench. And I don't blame her. She might feel like she wants to come back in, but you and I were both watching her when she tried to stand up on the baseline and then went back to a knee, and the coaches were with her. That elbow got her pretty good.
LSU leads by 5 as we go to the fourth quarter. In the first SEC game of the season, Williams, turnaround jump shot. No, a little flat, a little long.
By the way, LSU shooting in that third quarter, 11 of 16 for 69%. LSU's now up to 55% for the game.
Strack with that 1-footer, falling back, missed it that time, in and out. Richard on the move. Richard hit the last bucket in the second quarter and also the last bucket in the third quarter.
First quarter.
Yes. And Flau'jae Johnson may have been fouled. She got pinched between a couple of defenders. LSU by 5. 9 minutes and 16 seconds are left in quarter number 4. Joyner retrieves it and hands it to Richard. Half the shot clock to use. Richard bounces inside, leaps and fires in and out. Rebound, Joyner. Yes! So strong in the middle of those defenders.
That's a big tag team effort, too, because Akia Johnson was right there in position, but she helped clear a path for Joyner to get that rebound and put it up and in.
Boone kicks it out to Strack. An open line drive jumper is good.
It's too easy.
She's 6'5", but she's got some distance on her shots.
One of the Lady Tigers hit the deck, but somebody's got to be able to rotate over. You can't leave her wide open like that.
Mississippi State has defeated Auburn 75-53 in Starkville. And Texas, ranked second in the country, leads 89-71 over Missouri. Boone, no, missed everything. So Texas in the fourth quarter has an 18-point lead over Missouri. Oklahoma is routing Texas A&M in the third quarter, 47-23. Earlier, South Carolina beat Alabama, Tennessee over Florida. Vanderbilt knocked off Arkansas, and Ole Miss was a 17-point winner over Georgia.
That's a great look and a great call. Kim Mulkey called that play coming down the sideline. She wanted to find Mulkey because of the mismatch inside. They went and stuck Michaela Williams in the corner. She comes baseline, and she's got Boone on her backside. Beautiful lob to Michaela to turn around, hit the shot, and get the foul. See, Boone tries to cover up top, so they just throw it over the top. And Strack was too late to come over for the help side defense. That's an excellent call and excellent execution.
21 points for Michaela Williams, but she can't get 22.
Not used to seeing her bang one off the back of the iron like that. Not from the free throw line.
Very good free throw shooter. That's nicely done. One-on-one. Good move by Morgan. Morgan was able to use her body, kind of bounce off the defender and maintain that control off the window. 69-64. The biggest lead in this game has been LSU by 12. That came early. Joyner, yes. A very slick feed by Zakiya Johnson to Joyner.
Joyner's coming off a game where she had 19 points. But this is a much more impressive night. 14 points on 7 of 8 shooting to go along with her 5 rebounds.
Oh, a deep three and a big one needed by Kentucky. Asia Boone knocks down another one. She's got 17 points.
5 of her 6 made field goals are 3-pointers. In fact, all of her field goal attempts but 3 have been from deep, and she's hit 5 of the 6 she's made.
That's the 9th time she's reached double figures in scoring this year.
Kentucky's closing in on its season average of 9 made 3-pointers a game, 7 for 22 on the night. But here's Boone, and you see Joyner's just late getting out top. Much like we talk about with Michaela Williams, if Boone is up top, you've got to be shadowing her. You can't stand behind and then try to go around the player and think you're going to have time to get to her. That thing's going to launch.
6:40 to play and counting. LSU by 4. Kentucky owns the basketball. And a foul called. It could have been one of 3 Tigers down low.
You and I have had the chance to work a few times with some Conference USA games. Just go back and take a look at the drive and the foul as Morgan once again getting down the lane. This isn't the first time you and I have seen Asia Boone, number 8 for Kentucky. She transferred from Liberty. She was second team Conference USA last year, and 2 years ago she was the freshman of the year in Conference USA. What a big pickup for Kentucky to get her to move from Liberty to Lexington.
Richard committed the foul. That's her 3rd.
That was Kentucky's first free throw attempt of this second half. They took 11 in the first half, 0 for 1 here in the second.
Morgan came in shooting 82.5%. 6.5 to play, 4th quarter. Williams rising, shooting, missing, in and out. Strack with the rebound. Koval got a piece of it. They're going to call a tie ball. It's going to go to Kentucky.
Michaela Williams just can't get this roll. Strack clearly has, but nice job by Koval to go in there, work on trying to tie it up.
You know, Victor,
3 fouls.
There are a lot of choices today and tonight with sporting events all over the country and many, many sports. And you look around and you see maybe a handful of empty seats in this arena. It's a magnificent turnout for game number 1 between LSU and Kentucky. This place is rocking. There's hardly an empty seat. People have been standing a good majority of the time. And a lot of noise, a lot of emotion. And a very exciting start from a charisma standpoint, if you will, in this building.
Well, Lady Tiger fans knew how to pace themselves on New Year's Eve to get here for game night tonight. This place will be packed again tomorrow night for open mic night for gymnastics. But to your point about this game being here, that's why they sat through some of those tougher games that were 40, 50-point decisions to get to games like this.
LSU by 3. And free throws will be coming. with Grace Knox drawing that foul.
Good decision by Knox to pull up 2 on the dribble. She looked like she was trying to go all in one motion, spin to go to the basket, but once she made the spin, she actually came to a quick stop, hit the brakes, and allowed her to be able to go up and draw the foul.
74.5% on the season. Every decision, every contested play, every free throw is critical in a game like this, and Knox bags both of them. 73-68, LSU by 5 on its own court, 5:45 to go. Strack outside the key, down to Morgan, and Richard may have committed the foul. Morgan lost her footing. That's the 4th foul on Richard.
You think the place is booing now. Wait to see if they show a replay on the in-house screen, because it looked like she just tripped over her own feet. Unless Jada got her with a trip, she was playing good defensive position. Morgan got tripped up and they called her on the foul.
I think our camera folks found some people who agreed with you.
She'll go to the bench now with 4. It brings Fulwiley back, who has not had a typical Fulwiley game.
Well, you don't see that very often. Victor, go ahead and get that one.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Fulwiley wants to give it a try. She came up a little bit short.
LSU thankful for this, because once again, Boone was open. Flaugier Johnson was late to try to go over there and get a hand on her face. Good thing she wedged that one between the rim and the board.
LSU wanted to double dribble, but the official said the ball was tipped by an LSU player, touched.
The fans wanted it because Kim Mulkey and Bob Starkey and the coaching staff were all screaming double dribble. Kim still standing in midcourt, looking at him, wanting to know why the double dribble wasn't called. The play continued, and it wound up getting the foul call.
Boone is away on the first one.
50% from the line tonight for Kentucky, 7 of 14. You see, that was just their 4th free throw attempt here in the half.
You know what? She had only offered 6 free throws the whole year. Only 6 times had she gone to the line. Here's the handoff to Williams, spinning, fading, firing, got it. Again, we talked about her ability to create shots. She does it as well as anybody.
Well, if Strack's going to have that step back, and we talk about it being almost unguardable, it's the same thing with Michaela Williams, where Williams is able to create shots like that people just can't defend.
The loose ball is picked up by Cobal. She makes an ill-advised pass and gives it right back.
That's something LSU's done so well all season long, but tonight that's at least the 3rd time they've had a break where they haven't been able to convert, or at least to get it up off the rim. It's turned into a turnover.
4.5 to play. The clock moves. Morgan guarded by Fulwiley. Morgan takes her down deep. Back out to Key. Key gets rid of it to Strack. 6 to fire. Strack bends another dribble. 3 seconds to shoot. Key lets it fly. Misses everything. Shot clock violation. Kim Mulkey on the sideline, pumping her fists. There's nothing more that she likes better than good defense. 4:09 to play. LSU 75, Kentucky 69. Well, talking about making an entrance, these two know how to do it. That's Lane Kiffin, the new LSU football coach, and Kim Mulkey. That's right before the ball game.
And he's wearing a hat, and if you haven't been here in person, Kim Mulkey's entrance is one of the most anticipated things in the arena. Everybody wants to see what she's wearing. Because of the hat, I don't know if right away everybody knew exactly who it was, but it took about 5 seconds when she was pointing at him and raising his hand. Lane Kiffin taking some time to come over to the arena and catch action. Busy man right now with the portal about to open for football tomorrow. Certainly had the crowd riled up early when he made the entrance.
Well, there is Alexander Koval and Natalia Koval, the parents of LSU's Kate Koval. What a story they've had. They've been displaced by the Russian war with Ukraine. He has served in the military. He's away, we're told, on a leave right now. She went to live in Canada for a while to find a safe harbor. They're back together in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the best of that family.
Absolutely. Great to see him here, and he was a big reason to get her to come over to America and play basketball here.
Knox runs down her own miss. And a foul out front. That's the fourth on Boone. Three minutes and 46 seconds are left. LSU 75, Kentucky 69. Tigers' biggest lead has been 12. Kentucky's has been 5. This is only the fourth game in which LSU has trailed this year. Flaugier, step back, leaves it short. LSU trailed against Duke, Louisiana Tech, and Tulane, and now Kentucky. But right now leading 75-69. And we've got a stoppage and a foul on LSU.
Holding call on Michaela Williams. She got beat with the dribble. Had a player going baseline uncontested, so she grabbed the jersey. Pretty easy call to make.
And 2 shots coming.
Both teams with 4 players now in double digits. Michaela Williams leads everybody with 23 points. Morgan has 19. Boone has 18 for Kentucky.
And Morgan is at the stripe right now. A good free throw shooter, but the first one is long. You cannot afford to leave points at the free throw line if you're Kentucky. Trailing by 6 with 3:20 to play. Morgan, 82.5%. Kentucky is only 8 for 16, now 8 for 17. But how about that? As Key somehow manages to get the ball and put it back in.
You can't allow that to happen if you're LSU. You have inside position. She misses both free throws, but they come away as if she made both of them because of the offensive rebound and easy putback.
75-71 for Wiley. And there's a foul on Koval, and she knew it. She tried to pull back, but her momentum carried her into the back of the Kentucky player.
How about that stunner? LSU has 3 blocks on the night. And for a team that's known, they call them the triplets because of the 3 that are able to have so many blocks throughout their career the last 2 years. 0 blocks for Kentucky tonight, when they average 8.5 a game. That leads all of college basketball.
Strack, 76% from the line this year. The number 1 scorer for Kentucky at 16.8. The number 1 rebounder at 9.9.
More astounding with that block stat. LSU actually leads points in the paint 34-30, which tells you they haven't been afraid to go at it and try to get to the rim. Kentucky just has not been able to get any blocks against them.
Strack's free throws make it a 2-point game. Just under 3 minutes to play. We've got tension here in the final minutes. Williams fakes the 3. Looking, fakes left.
LSU cleared the floor for her too.
That shot rattles out. Key takes the rebound near the free throw line. Kentucky can take the lead with this possession. 2.5 to go. Tighten the seatbelts. Hang on to your chairs. Ten seconds to shoot. 4 seconds. Morgan works down low, and a foul called. And Kentucky will be able to tie this game at the free throw line as we play with 2:10 remaining.
And Michaela Williams is frustrated about the foul, but if she moves over faster on defense, look, she's already beat. We've talked about it so many times on broadcast, Lynn. If you're shoulder to shoulder and you're the defender, you're already beat. She needed to move over faster and cut her off. Once she got behind, now she's reaching in to try to get the block.
Morgan calmly sinks the first free throw. This for a tie at 75. We are brand new after 38 minutes. A 6-0 run, 6 ties, 10 lead changes in this game. Locked up at 75 right now. Blaget kicks it back out to Richard. Jada playing with 4 fouls and 14 points. Richard pulls up, takes the jumper, misses side left. Rebound on the floor, picked up by Kentucky. Wildcats can take the lead with this possession. Morgan dribbling around, kicks it out, 3-ball, in and out, and rattled away. Key gets it back for Kentucky.
Key is just a monster on loose balls. LSU has not figured out how to get number 7 away from the loose balls time and time again.
Key is like a rat on a Cheeto when it comes down to running those balls down. 15 rebounds for Key. Can you believe it? Shot clock at 3. Step back. Got it. Oh my! Strack with a critical shot. That is not a high percentage shot at all, but she stroked it with nothing but twine.
How many times have I said it tonight? It's almost unguardable. Watch as she gets the ball right back, and she's going to spin and peel away. Koval wants to try to go to the block, but makes body contact as she's fading away. Watch how tough this shot is. Koval with the elbow, can't get the block. She fouls out with 5. And Strack goes to the free throw line where she's a 76% free throw shooter. And if you can feel the tension through the television, and for those who are watching, this is what Lady Tiger fans are worried about. Those 40, 50-point games, they haven't been in this situation. There she is again with a rebound.
16 rebounds for Key. And right now, LSU is most definitely in a position it has not been in this year through the first 14 games.
This is what had everybody a little anxious. How would LSU respond when they get put into a situation like this, because they haven't faced it all season long? Yes, they went to Duke and they were down 17-2. They took that game over in the third quarter and cruised to a victory. Everything else, even Louisiana Tech, the early deficit. This is the first time LSU has faced this all season long.
Kentucky has been very, very resilient tonight, time after time. There have been 3 or 4 occasions in which it looked like LSU was going to put its boot on the throat of the Wildcats, and each time Kentucky was able to slither free and come back to pressure LSU. Key with a career-high 16 rebounds and a season's high 17 points.
And Key did not play the last 2 games. She sat out against Wright State, sat out against Hofstra. She had 11 rebounds and a big win over Central Michigan, and she had 12 rebounds at Buffalo. Those are the only 2 games with double-digit rebounds, but she has been the X factor that LSU has not been able to solve. The 3-point shooting by Boone and the inside play of Key on the glass have been 2 major factors as to why Kentucky here on the road is up 2 with $1:17 left.
A 1-possession game. LSU owns the basketball. LSU, let's see what they decide coming out of the huddle. Williams faking, leaning, fading, firing, bouncing, no. Flat-footed rebound taken by Strack.
The Lady Tigers were there. Jordan went to the ground and nobody was able to grab it.
54 seconds to go.
8 rebounds for Strack now.
Strack with the basketball. Nobody guarded Obi. That's blocked. Rejected by Knox. But it's kicked out for Boone. Her 3. No. LSU's got a chance. Down by 2. 35 seconds to go.
You've got to try to go to the basket. If you draw a foul, that's fine, and get to the free throw line. You don't want to, I do not think you want to try the outside shot.
There's about a 7-second difference between the clocks. 15 on the shot clock right now. That's going to be a foul on Strack. 3 free throws are coming. 3 free throws are coming. 4 on Strack. LSU has not had a field goal in the last 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been an 8-0 run for Kentucky. This is all ISO, a lot of dribbling, no passing. Michaela pulls up and Strack with that 6'5" frame. Tries to reach out to get it, but clearly hits her on the hand.
This is a young lady who hit 30 consecutive free throws as a freshman. She calmly drops in the first one. She's got 2 more free throws coming. 18.5 seconds to go. Michaela Williams ties the game at 77. She is as cool as the center seed of a cucumber. For the lead. Yes! 3 consecutive free throws for Michaela Williams. Timeout, Kentucky. How about that for some clutch shooting with the game on the line?
5 of 6 from the line for Michaela Williams tonight to give her 26 on the ball game. We've watched this young lady ever since she stepped in LSU, as you mentioned, our outstanding free throw shooting. 78% on the season. Which
actually is much worse than her normal numbers.
Yeah, LSU as a team shoots just under 72%. That's 9th in the SEC. So they do make 20 on average, which is number 1. And tonight, as a team overall from the line, LSU 13 of 15.
So Michaela Williams drains 1, 2, 3 free throws in a row to give LSU a 78-77 lead. But plenty of time remaining for the last possession for Kentucky.
Now I'm going to draw to your attention as you take a look at Strack on the bench. A moment ago you talked about how somebody was left wide open. And why? Because when Strack had the ball left low side, Flau'jae Johnson left her flare to go double team because you don't want Strack to do the fadeaway. And that left the cutter wide open. Fortunately for LSU, she missed that shot. But watch for them to do something like that. If Strack doesn't try to take the shot, she's going to draw the attention. And they're going to hope that LSU loses somebody on the defense who's going to kick it out.
This crowd is on its feet, imploring defense. Joyner, Knox, Johnson, Williams, and Richard on the floor for LSU. Obi, Morgan, Key, Boone, and Strack for Kentucky. This is Tony Morgan.
Coach is going to give her the sign when to go. He just told her to hold up. Now he's telling her, let's go.
10 seconds to play. Morgan still dribbling left side. 5 seconds.
Strack's left alone.
3 seconds. She's going to have to shoot for the win. Got it! Wow! Kentucky hits a 3 with no time remaining. They're going to check the tape, I believe. But oh my. Morgan, holding on to the basketball, was forced into a low percentage shot and drained it.
Well, they used Strack as a decoy, and they sent her down left wing.
Shot.
They will go to the tape.
The end of period basket is under review.
But Victor, I thought it was good.
It's good, yeah. That was clearly off. I think the ball's going through the net when the red light hits. But they sent Strack down the left side. She's left of your screen. And you notice they switched. Jada Richard's on her. So that left Joyner, who wasn't out close enough. And you can see the light hadn't been going on. Clearly, that bucket is in. If anything, they might say there's 2/10 or something left. Look at the clock at the far end. It goes to the net at .4.
Tony Morgan. Tony Morgan, who had only 8 triples coming into this game, has apparently won it for Kentucky. We're awaiting confirmation, and we're going to get it right now.
After review, the ball passed through the basket with .5 on the game clock. The game clock will be set to .5.
So half a second remains. LSU will take the ball on its offensive end.
They're going to call timeout and move it up now, which at least gives you a chance to throw it in and turn and shoot, or you go to the bucket for a grab, touch the floor, and try to lay it back up and in to force overtime.
But with half a second to go, you've got to be very swift. There is no time for a dribble.
We talked about Morgan a little earlier and the fact that she's second in the nation in assists per game. You know, she graduated in 3 years from Georgia Tech. She started her career at Georgia Tech, graduated in 3 years, moved to Kentucky to finish out, She is on the Nancy Lieberman point guard watch list. Certainly see why with the big shot that she hit right there and the night that she's had. 12 assists, 24 points to lead the charge on 7 of 10 shooting. And with all of those numbers that Morgan has, 0 turnovers. That's outstanding. Point guard has been so active to not have turned the ball over.
Well, a few games ago, she had 16 assists and no turnovers.
Yep, not again tonight, where she's got 12 assists. Kentucky now calls timeout after they saw LSU come out for its initial lineup.
Victor, I'm just double checking, and the numbers that I reflected earlier are correct. Coming into this game, Morgan had 8 3-pointers, 8 for 24, and she just hit one, which gives Kentucky an 80-78 lead over LSU with the shot clock just about to expire, the game clock just about to expire. Half a second to play here. Let's see what LSU does.
They're going to try to go to the basket for a lob tip, or they got to go to somebody like Michaela who can quickly turn and shoot.
That's probably the option they'll use. Flau'jae Johnson will throw it in. This is Michaela, and this shot will not count. Even if it goes, it doesn't. Kentucky has defeated LSU. The final, Kentucky 80, LSU 78. And what a game for Tony Morgan. Last Kentucky win here in Baton Rouge was in 2019, January 17th. That was 64-60. This one at 80-78. Kentucky so resilient. Even after Michaela Williams stepped to the line, hit 3 free throws to give LSU a 1-point lead. It was Tony Morgan who put the dagger into LSU.
Last year, Kentucky had a lead on LSU in Lexington. LSU stormed back with a monster third quarter and pulled away for the win. Tonight it was even at the half, and Morgan stepped up so clutch late in this ball game. Give credit also to their outstanding player, Clara Strack, who was able to play all those minutes without drawing another foul. And a very impressive road win for Kentucky to come in here and get this win.
Morgan had 24, Boone had 18, Strack with 15, and Key with 17, and was a monster on the boards. LSU got double-figure scoring from Williams. That's a high of 26 this season. 15 for Johnson and 14 for Richard. Final score, Kentucky 80, LSU 78. Kentucky wins on the road in the SEC.